Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon Frayne. We are back with another video. Today we're talking about Bittensor TAO and subnets being undervalued at this moment in time. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and don't forget to grab your completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin linked below this video in the description. It is my gift to you. Grab it now and let's talk about subnets. So I think that TAO Subnets might be one of the most undervalued opportunities in the entire crypto space at this moment in time. I've made a few different videos on the channel here discussing various different subnets I'm executing mining over on Subnet 93 Bitcast, and I've been able to generate, here you can see about $551 in the past 24 hours by mining on Subnet 93 Bitcast. It is a marketing-focused subnet within the Bittensor ecosystem. If none of this is making sense to you, go back and watch some of the videos on the channel here over the course of the past few weeks. You will see interesting tutorials about different subnets. You'll see how I have set up this mining system with Subnet 93 for Bitcast. And, it may not be something that you can also replicate yourself, but there are tons of opportunities with all of these different subnets within the Bittensor ecosystem. And just to hone in on the tokenomics comparison between something like Bittensor and Bitcoin and how that differs and how it's quite similar, Bittensor has actually borrowed a lot of the tokenomic structure from Bitcoin with its fixed supply. It has a $21 million hard cap in terms of the amount of tokens that will ever exist. And right now, Bittensor also is emitting about 7,200 tokens per day for the network, which is being distributed amongst all of the different subnets. Okay, all of this is going to start to click in a minute once I describe what's happening with the subnet ecosystem. But I just wanted to show this tokenomics comparison because the emission schedule is quite aggressive here for the first couple of years, very similar to Bitcoin, with that emissions being quite aggressive. But then you can see we have the first halving, which is going to take place in Q4 of this year. And later on, after a couple of years and a couple of halving events, the emission schedule begins to even out with that distribution curve. So again, what we're talking about here is all of the different subnets on the Bittensor TAO network essentially competing against one another. Again, if you're not familiar with the subnets, go check out some of the videos on the channel, but all of these subnets on Bittensor are essentially AI businesses or entities in and of themselves, and they're competing to try and provide the most valuable information back to the network as a whole. And for doing that, they get rewarded in TAO's native token, which is, of course, TAO. Now, the other thing that's happening here with the most recent DTAO upgrade is the fact that you have all of these subnets now with their own individual subnet alpha tokens. And those subnet alpha tokens also follow a similar tokenomics design with a hard cap of 21 million tokens per subnet as well. So again, lending and borrowing on a lot of the tokenomic structure that has made Bitcoin so successful in and of itself. But one of the things that we need to think about is how these subnets are being valued over the course of time. And right now, there was a very good article published by Unsupervised Capital to reframe, or at least help us think about reframing the way that we should be thinking about subnet valuations. And right now, of course, you're seeing at this moment in time, a lot of bleeding out from some of the subnets here in terms of how much capital is flowing into them. We've actually seen a little bit of an outflow of capital from many of the subnets here over the past few weeks. We can see the current subnet values being at 1.6. This was as high as about 1.8 and even higher than 2 just a few weeks ago, meaning right now you're seeing the fully diluted value of subnets collectively being 60% larger than the fully diluted valuation of TAO itself. Okay, again, we're going to see capital rotating in and out of subnets, in and out of the root network for staking your native TAO as well. But the point that they're making here in this Unsupervised Capital article is the fact that we need to be thinking about other reference points when it comes to valuing subnets, specifically because of some of the incentive mechanisms and the staking mechanisms inherent to the design of the Bittensor network. So again, one of the things that you can do, and this is an area you might want to think about capitalizing on, because the impact of APY and staking APY on token valuation is a very important factor in Bittensor. You can come on over to taoyield.com, and TAO Yield is a fantastic aggregator, basically giving us all the information for the APY yield, the staking APY that you can be generating from simply owning and staking all of these different subnet tokens. So Shoots is the largest subnet on the Bittensor network in terms of emissions being received. If I jump back to the subnets area here, you can see that Shoots is currently garnering about 14% of the daily emissions being emitted by TAO. So remember that 7,200 TAO that we referenced a moment ago. The Shoots subnet is actually earning about 14% of those 7,200 TAO on a daily basis. Again, all of the subnets are competing to be getting as much of that TAO as possible every single day, but a certain portion of that TAO also goes to the validators on the network, and the validators pay out the stakers for the percentage of the Subnet Alpha token that the stakers are also staking as well. And this is where the staking rewards come from. And this is the point that the unsupervised capital crew were honing in on with that specific point, because some of these staking yields are incredibly high at this moment in time. For owning and staking the Shoots token, you can be generating in excess of 119% APY. If you look at a bunch of these other Subnet Alpha tokens, many of them you can be generating in excess of 220% APY. Again, you can argue that there is risk inherent here, and of course there is, because many of these Subnet Alpha tokens can go down in value, both in dollar terms and in terms of TAO. But realistically, there will be a handful of winners that outperform TAO and outperform the network as a whole, and outperform all of these other subnets over the coming 6, 12, 24, 36 months. And if you can be in a position to be able to pick the winners and capitalize from the staking yield, which is in excess of 100, 200% on certain subnets, I've seen it as high as 600 and 700% on certain subnets as well, you can be thinking about the asymmetric opportunity here for you to capitalize on the intersection of artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency on the TAO network. And in my opinion, the current value of the subnet ecosystem and subnet tokens is very, very undervalued. When we think about what's actually happening in the background here with the TAO tokenomic structure as a whole to begin with, and then how some of these subnets are actually garnering real world clients, real world adoption. Shoots is being compared to Google Gemini about 12 months ago, the amount of tokens that they're processing with their serverless AI compute here over the past month or two. It's exciting to see the trajectory that some of these subnet alpha tokens are on, not just the alpha tokens themselves, but the real world business use cases that many of these subnets are tackling. You know, this is very different, in my opinion, to a lot of the AI agent stuff that was happening on Solana and the base network in Q3 and Q4 of 2024. If you draw the comparison with some of these actual subnets and dive deep into them, I'll do some other videos on some specific subnets, and I've already posted interviews with founders of multiple different subnets. You will see they are tackling real world use cases, real world problems, and building businesses that their clients don't necessarily need to even know that they're using and operating the TAO blockchain and what's going on behind the scenes. But in the upfront value proposition, they're helping clients and helping businesses reduce costs and expand their businesses as well. So I think this is a very exciting time to be understanding the potential that is here with different subnets, with the staking yield that you can be generating. And we might just be in store for a Subnet Summer if we see the market begin to price in some of the amazing subnets that are actually participating and growing on the TAO ecosystem. Again, I'm going to leave a link to this specific article from Unsupervised Capital in the description of this video. You can check it out below. As I said, the sum of alpha prices has actually reduced further since this article was published. And again, you can think about different ways of evaluating these subnets, whether you're using sum of alpha prices as a reference, whether you're using fully diluted valuation. But the point this article is making, and I think you should read it, is that there are some nuances specifically with the Bittensor network and the subnet alpha tokens that you need to consider that are very, very different from comparing it or valuing them against or alongside other crypto assets and other crypto tokens outside of the Bittensor ecosystem. So check it out for yourself. I'm going to leave a link below this video in the description for you to check out. Again, if you got any value out of today's video, guys, please make sure to drop a thumbs up on it below. Today's video is also sponsored by Bitcast, a global crypto derivatives exchange. Bitcast is a non-KYC crypto exchange, so if you value your privacy, Bitcast might be a good option for you. There is also a link for Bitcast, non-KYC, privacy-oriented, in the description below this video. Check it out for yourself. There are trading bonuses for you waiting at that link in the description below this video, so check it out as well. And that is it for today's video, guys. Again, like I said, if you got any value at all, please take just 3 seconds. Drop a quick thumbs up on the video if you liked it. I want to hear the comments. Are you researching TAO? Where do you think the value lies with TAO Subnets? And where do you think the most value can be extracted? I want to hear your favorite subnets in the comments below this video. Check them out for yourself. Again, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification icon. And again, you've got a completely free copy, The Rise of Bitcoin, waiting for you in the description below this video. Grab it now, and we'll catch you in the next one.